B-L-A-C-K. Outro. B-L-A-C-K. Better know, B.
What is going on, guys? It's Adam and Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight is Unidentified Friday. We're going to be talking about sightings, strange things in the sky, and everything else. So we'll be right back right after this.
Outro. B-L-A-C-K. Better know, B-L-A-C-K.
All right, what is poppin'? All right, before we start, my name is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Just to get it out of the way, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else that works for the show. You should always do the research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, we have some really good stories tonight, and we have actually one out of four usual calls that we take is a planned one. We have Ann Lynn from the Ann Lynn Show has an amazing story that, again, I think will be really awesome to hear. Now, I'm going to be sort of reacting because I don't have the full story, but it's about a historic moment in history, and she just ended up having to be a part of it. So that's going to be awesome. On top of this, after the show, it will transition into after we end here on YouTube. If you're over on D Live, you won't have to go anywhere. We're going to transition into some other stuff. So just to let you know, that will happen. The title, of course, Vanished Without a Trace, is also going to be on the website. If you go to our website, you'll actually see that we have everything that we say here backed up. In fact, you go to the website, you'll see the thumbnail, which is very easy to spot, and then you'll click that, Without a Trace, and you'll be able to see every single video, every single article, every single picture that we show you here today. We show you the source, where it came from, so you know where you're getting your information, and you know you can actually go there and finish it, or on a second device, you can actually read along if we have articles about space or anything else. All right. Without further ado, let's introduce Dex. Again, remember the number is 224-400-MARF. If you call that number, you're going to get a hold of Dex. He is our co-host and my internet brother. Dex, are you there, and can we do a sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam. And I got to say, Unidentified Fridays are one of my favorite shows. I'm so looking forward to this.
Well, and first of all, Unidentified Friday has gone up every week that we've done it. It is a break from all of the normal stuff, and I think that tonight is a great time to do that. Obviously, 2021 has got off to a rocky start. Everyone is stressed out right now, and I mean everyone. There are just a lot of horrible things happening. Let's focus for the next hour or so on some positive stuff, on some fun stuff. And then, of course, we're going to have to cover some of this stuff later. But again, this is a crazy time we're in. If you guys want to support the show, on the right side of our page, any of the shows that you click on, you can actually go to the right side. You can support us by our affiliates, or even by PayPal, or using our Amazon link. If you're using Amazon every day, if your state is locked down and you've been using it every day, there is something that you can do. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but if you actually click on this before you end up shopping, you end up helping the show, and it doesn't make a difference to you, but it makes a difference to us. It helps our channel, and it helps us independently. So another part of this is we are independent. We do not have a multi-channel network. We're not protected by others. So it really does make a difference, and we appreciate each and every one of you that support. We appreciate the people that have been watching for 3 years. We also appreciate the people that support through other venues like Patreon, PayPal, all of that. So thank you, and thank you. All right, let's get straight into it. Obviously, elephant in the room here. Don't miss Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury shine in a triple conjunction this weekend. A spectacular gathering of bright planets will be the chief celestial attraction in the evening sky this weekend, as Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury appear to crowd into tight quarters, which is... yeah, if you want to talk about symbols and signs in the skies, Kind of crazy stuff. Every time we have some sort of celestial event, we also have something happen down on the ground, which again, we'll end up talking about that as well. Low in the southwestern evening sky, just 30 to 45 minutes after sundown, will be treated to what may be referred to as a celestial summit meeting, a triple conjunction with 3 planets fitting within a circle smaller than 5 degrees. So I'm guessing it's like a triangle, or maybe, I mean, how would they do that without being a triangle, I guess? I guess it could be a line. It says brilliant Jupiter, magnitude 1.9, medium bright Mercury at 0.9, and dimmer yellow-white Saturn at 0.6 will be contained within a 5-degree circle from January 8th to January 12th, appearing closest together on the Sunday evening of January 10th. What will make this array particularly fascinating is how the configuration will change noticeably from one evening to the next. It says this effect is primarily due to the rapid motion of the speedy Mercury relative to the 2 slow-moving wanderers, Jupiter and Saturn. It says that the pattern will go from a stretched-out triangle to almost an equilateral triangle on January 10th. I wonder how often this happens, because honestly, how do they, some of this stuff, how do they know? Do they know this from history, or... again, pretty crazy. If you want to read the rest of this, again, there's some more stuff on the symbology of it and other things down at the very bottom. You can access it by going to marfooglenews.com and scrolling down to the article. Or you can finish it now on a second device. All right, and then we have a meteor seen above the U.S. just hours after a space rock detecting camera established. So this is something that I've been talking about for a long time. Besides all of the stuff going on here on Earth, the sky, whatever you believe is up there, has had a lot of stuff happening. And we've had video after video after video of what we believe are meteors. And it's not like we're taking it. It's basically we have videos and proof of stuff that does not look like a plane that is burning on fire and dropping into the atmosphere. Either it's space junk or it's meteors, and they've gone up in numbers. You guys know this. You've been watching me for a long time. A lot of you have been here for a long time, and you guys know it's upticked. Even what I cover, and I cover almost every single one of them. If there's any kind of news of an NEO that's the size of the Empire State Building, or a giant shark, or the size of whatever it may be, a school bus, I cover it, and that's gone up and up and up. And we actually have proof that it's gone up. It's almost quadrupled as far as the amount of stuff coming in. And sightings of these things have gone way up. Some people think that they are not meteors at all, that they're either space trash or something else, something landing. Who knows? It says, Mr. Hannabo said, what's cool about meteorites is they are literally our history. Perhaps one of the most famous fireballs to hit Earth came in 2013 when a meteor exploded over Shablinsk, Russia. It says the blast was caused by a 20-meter, so 60 feet meteor that caused such an explosion it dealt more than $25 million in damages to the Russian city. It says in 1908, and by the way, I believe that is a lot more, this says... both are not in dollars. So I think it's something like $50 million, something like that. I could be wrong. If you know the translation, then put it in the chat. In damages to the Russian city, it says in 1908, also Russia, it seems like they've had bad luck in the past, a small asteroid surprised Earth when it exploded over Siberia's Tunguska, flattening woodlands across 800 miles. Now, notice how they said a small asteroid did that. 800 miles of flattened trees for a small asteroid, and it didn't even hit. They supposedly said that it blew up in the sky and then sent a shockwave. So imagine if we actually get a big one that is coming our way. And some scientists say that the only option would be to break it up into multiple pieces and hope that they come at different times. Once you break it up, you could try to do things to slow down and make them hit, not simultaneously. So one will hit, do damage, one will hit, do damage. If they do that, it would reduce the amount of damage overall. If it's one big hit coming in at 20 to 60,000 miles, that will send such an impact that it will, get put up into the sky and cause a blackout across the world. It says, what is a close approach? A near-Earth object is any small solar system body whose orbit brings it proximity with Earth. As they orbit the sun, near-Earth objects occasionally make a close approach to Earth. Every month, dozens of near-Earth asteroids come in with 0.05 AU, astronomical units of Earth. That's about 4 million miles or 4.5 million miles. It says, so NEOs are not necessarily currently near the Earth, but they can potentially approach the Earth relatively closely, therefore a close approach. Now, that's kind of a basic explanation of it, but what I want to point out is the number that are actually coming in and the number that are actually getting caught in our gravity and getting pulled in, or supposedly, right? Because I always keep my mind open on everything. But on top of that, some of the stuff that has happened, I believe that it's been, in fact, I do believe that there was some sort of cover-up type thing in Africa when the one hit there, and I don't know why the local government would do that, but of course they came out and said something, and then they took it back, and then the guy was on camera, and it totally looked weird, like he was just all of a sudden told to change his story. It was really funky, but anyways, we've covered that in previous shows. In fact, I believe the thumbnail was the crater where they're all standing around it, and there was no evidence of explosives, which was the excuse that it was a truck full of explosives and it blew up. Really weird stuff. And then we have defending Earth against dangerous asteroids. Q&A with NASA's Lindy Johnson. Never a straight answer. It says it's a cosmic roll of the dice. There's no doubt that a major asteroid or comet strike could cause extensive devastation and profoundly affect life on Earth. It says the largest hit in recent times was, of course, the object over Tunguska, Siberia in 1908, with an energy impact of 5 to 15 megatons. It says that there was a spectacular and destructive airburst in February 2013 over the Russian city of Shablinsk. It says the Shablinsk explosion generated a shockwave that shattered windows on the ground that was resulting flying glass shards, injured more than 1,000 people. It says while these run-ins are few and far between, those in the know call them wake-up calls. Thwarting an incoming object that has Earth in its crosshairs will mean defecting or disrupting the hazardous object. That's a task of planetary defense and applied planetary science to address the near-Earth object impact hazard. Says Lindy Johnson is NASA's planetary defense officer and program executive at the Planetary Defense Coordination Office. An email from him includes on-the-job line, quote, Hic Severa Diem, Latin for here to save the day. So that, of course, that's kind of funky. Here to save the day on his job line. And then it says Space.com caught up with Johnson to discuss recent events and what's on the planetary defense agenda in the coming year. Space.com, it says, where's the impact of December 1 loss of the Arecibo? That's a different story. Johnson, it says the National Science Foundation made the hard decision that it needed to decommission the Arecibo observatory for safety reasons and brought it down, but the telescope decided to do it on its own. Its planetary radar... Sorry about that. Planetary radar observation isn't unique, as we have it at our Goldstone Solar System radar in California's Mojave Desert 2. What was unique about Arecibo was the size of the dish and the power it generated, which gave it a longer range than we have at Goldstone. So, the point of this is Arecibo was an incredibly important part of their supposed mission to catch these NEOs. Isn't it weird that they had however many things happen to it? The cables broke, then it smashed again, then the whole thing just straight up collapsed. It's weird to me because of how many events that happened there, and then they said, oh, now we're going to have to do it. Now, just so happens that China is going to be one of the real big ones, or kind of the replacement. Is that right, or am I saying that wrong, Dex? I don't know I know that you're probably on the phone. Again, if you want to call in, you have to call in the number right here, 224-400-MARF. Make sure to press option 4 once you get to our phone tree. Dex, if you are available, I know that you've got the phones, looks like there's at least 3 lines busy, so if you can come on after that. Okay, good. I'm glad you're here. Arecibo, is it not true that now that that's down, didn't we cover a story that said that that China is the replacement, or China?
Yes, we did. They're building a massive one, very similar to it, and I don't think they even have it already ready and up. But yes, it's they'll be the sort of the replacement, if you want to call it. I don't think it's an official replacement, but absolutely, if Arecibo doesn't come back, then yeah, they've got that observatory.
What I think is weird about that too is the fact that ours is knocked down, so they will have tools that we don't. Especially if we just stop communication at any time with them, which, of course, there's a lot going on right now. But on the other hand, there is now technology, and we know that they are studying not only how, but I believe they've already done it, is how to get asteroids to hit Earth. Now, imagine if you had the power, or you could wield that and direct an asteroid to a certain place. Now, if again, this can be backed up by a ton of information, including the University of Glasgow. They were doing it as a study, but then, of course, DoD and others came out with this whole kind of plan, and there's now documents that say that this is something that they are working on. They have all sorts of different plans between NASA and others. They say they are coming up with these different rocket engines that they can place on them. And the China Task Force, I believe, mentions it as well, that if China had the power to, or any other country, just say any country, had the power to direct one, think about the consequences of that. If something hits, would we be able to blame them? Especially if we didn't know. If they do something out in space to direct it towards us, and we don't have something to stop that in mid-track, then it hits us, we don't know all the better. I mean, it's a meteor. So there's no one to blame. There's no retaliation for something that's natural. One thing that I think would be very important for any country with a military would be to have some sort of ability to cause natural disasters without people knowing that they did it. This is a big point in everything I've talked about. Being able to do a natural disaster and you would never know who did it. That is something that they are afraid, and by they, the governments are afraid of happening. It says, Space.com says, so we have lost capability? Johnson says, we have lost that capability. Of course, to map this out, this whole thing. It says, but we haven't lost planetary radar capability, but it does make Goldstone a more critical capability for us than it was. We did have some overlap and redundancy prior to the loss of Arecibo, but now we have Goldstone. I think not only NASA, but other agencies as well will engage in a study of what is in the future for our planetary radar capability. I think that the loss of Arecibo will provide the incentive to get that together, a concerted effort on the part of several agencies. One thing I think of is, what if they did have, and they have had, the science or some sort of device or weapon or something that they could knock stuff that is coming at the U.S. or other places out of the sky. We've seen a lot of these tests of these missiles going up, just like the one the other day, of these blue crazy auras, and the thing splits up, and SpaceX launches, and people always post the videos and they're like, what is this? It's a UFO. You end up finding out that it's either a Trident missile, which the Trident missile over California looked super crazy, or others. Well, what if those were headed to hit an asteroid coming in, and that was because we had some sort of prediction of it because of satellites like Arecibo. What if we lost that? Would we have stuff hit that was on its way? And of course, they know a lot of stuff is on its way. How would they be able to track it if they don't have their big radar? But they said, of course, Goldstone's there, but do they have full coverage? Is the coverage specific? I would like to know what Arecibo covered specifically, and if there's any blind spots, supposedly, that they have. What do you guys think? I'll go over to the chat now. I know that it has been hard for everybody this year and last year. I want to thank you guys all for sticking with us. I also wanted to let you know a small update. Of course, we have to, we have to kind of go through roller coasters of things here to keep up to date with everything. So I wanted to let you know that there is, just a lot going on in the world, and we want to make sure that all of you know that we care and appreciate about you. Also, that we are trying to kind of make our own meeting place for us. I think it's very important. I don't know how soon that will be up. We are trying as hard as we can, but I do want to stress the importance of that. Because it is obviously it's good to have a place to be able to communicate. K.O. Mom, thank you so much for your support there. They call me Tang, says CV 1984, the V blocks Ascension. I've never heard of something like that. K.O. Mom, thank you so much. I didn't see the message there. Mr. Cornholio 44, Adam, Dex, and Fam, thank you. No Sheep, let's see here. Thank you so much. We've got Mike Mattel Live. Thank you for following. I appreciate that. Nelly14, T. Palomino is over in D Live. We've got Lion's Heart, Maui Racing Realtor, Sam Quiggs, Dixie Doe, Pla NK. Thank you so much. And then Joseph Johnson. Whatever happened to the EpiPen wife trial? EpiPen basically disappeared off the face of the earth. Somehow that just left all news, at all. So nobody talks about that anymore. You're very right. Ken Haynes, thank you for being the last one, along with Rhonda McKee for joining Patreon. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Comer74, thank you for subscribing. And then others, Dex, I don't know if I can. I don't have the access to it, but if somebody is on YouTube, if we could put that into screener. All right, let's move on. We're going to take our first call, but first, if you want to protect yourself against an EMP, I would highly, highly recommend EMP Shield. In fact, someone very recognizable just came out today and warned against EMPs and the dangers that they possess. Not only that, also said how much that we were in this kind of spot here where our grid is not fully protected yet. Companies like EMP Shield and others are actually contracted with the government to help try to get it there. But of course, it is a gigantic grid. You can actually protect yourself, your house, your car, your generator, your boats, your RVs, your solar system, all with a device from EMP Shield. It protects against all three phases, E1, E2, and E3. So if it came from, say, China or wherever it may come from, that again would help you protect yourself. It basically grounds the signal before it fries your devices. Even if the grid never comes back on, as long as you have one, that is paired with your house, your generator, and your car, you've got a car to get out, you've got a generator to power, and you've got your house and your devices, and they're not burnt. And it also protects against lightning and solar flare protection up to 228,000 amps. Of course, that is the natural way that it could happen, or the natural way they will say it happened. So again, marfooglenews.com/EMP. It's a veteran-owned business. They are growing and growing because of the contracts that they've taken out. They've worked with DOD, DHS. Now they're officially on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. Might be why some people are moving there. 100% American made. Again, thank you so much for supporting us. That's marfooglenews.com/EMP. That's marfooglenews.com/EMP. All right, moving on. Let's get in our first caller. We have Ann Lynn lined up. Let's see here. Dex, if we could, let's bring her in, and then we'll be talking about Elon is now the richest person in the world and some of the weird things he's been saying. Ann Lynn, are you there?
Hello. Hi, Adam. This is Ann, and I also have my sister, Lynn. Lynn, you want to say
Yes.
hi?
Hello, Adam, and hi, Dex. I'm glad to be here tonight with you both.
So there's Ann and Lynn. If you guys have not discovered them yet, they have the Ann Lynn Show. They are two of the funniest, self-proclaimed funniest grandmas out there. But not only that, they actually started creating after watching the show, and they do a really detailed job. They actually take a lot of pride in making their videos, editing them. they wouldn't be the typical person you would think jumping on YouTube. But these years are totally different. Everybody is. I am so glad that you guys did that and creatively. So I guess one of you has a extremely unique story. Which one is that? Is that you?
Well, no, it's both of us actually, Adam.
Awesome.
We're going to tell you our family story, that experience that happened to our immediate family when Lynn and I were kids back in 1966. And at that time, we lived in Michigan, and we lived in Washtenaw County, which is a southern county in Michigan. And we were celebrating our uncle's birthday. We lived out in the country, and back then, in 1966, it was rural. It's still rural, but we lived on a dirt road. We lived on a 20-acre farm. And I mean, it was, our nearest neighbor was a mile away. So if you kind of picture that, and so in our immediate family, it was our mom and dad, and then Lynn and I, and then we have a brother. And so Lynn was about 15. I was 10. And then our brother was just a little kid. He was like 5. But we were celebrating our uncle's birthday. My aunt and uncle were there, and another aunt. So there was 8 of us at the house. And I don't know at what point, but somebody noticed something outside. And the house we had was just a little ranch with a big picture window in the front living room. And we started spotting something. And what our brother remembers is us going from room to room, looking out the windows, trying to see.
Now, before you continue,
see what was out there.
Are you on speakerphone by any chance? Because there is kind of a repeating echo.
No, I am on my earbuds, and yes, I heard that. Lynn,
Okay.
What are you on?
Just wanted to make sure that we tried to take care of it before it went any further. Now,
Okay.
and this
I
is
do have speakers.
this is again.
Okay.
You're on speaker. Take it off.
The reason
Okay.
why
I'm not now.
again. Apparently, what happened that you're about to tell us about is an historic moment in the U.S. history. Is that right? Or
Yeah,
Yes.
it turned out to be. We didn't know it at the time, of course, but so we were celebrating this birthday, and so then we went outside the house, and I'm going to say about a mile out, there was an object, and I could just remember, like, my mom and dad and my aunt and uncle and my other aunt, we're all going, what is that? Because we didn't know what it was. Whatever it was coming right towards us. And we kept watching it. And I mean, and it was the typical disc UFO, colored lights going around the sides of it. It hovered. It came over our house real slow. I mean, it was like there, like all of a sudden, wasn't it, Lynn? And then it hovered and went over our house, behind our house, and at the back there was a woods. I mean, it's probably another half mile or so, or a little bit more, where the woods were, and it ended up out in, that's where it went. But we watched it, and I mean, it actually like stopped over our house and hovered over us. And of course, I was, we were kids, and
Yes.
but I mean, it was shocking. And it's something, all these years later, I'm 64, and I've never forgotten. And I've always had an interest now, of course, ever since that, of seeing, of UFOs and that kind of thing. And then, Lynn, you want to go ahead and
Sure.
add?
I want to say too, Adam, it had no sound, so there was no sound coming out of this craft. And then, this was all happening between all in the same county. And in late March, they saw this at Dexter, Michigan, the same time frame that we were watching it. And so then it wound up, there was one behind us now everyone at this time is saying it's swamp gas. My mom, that was the official explanation, that what we saw was swamp gas. So I watched it. I would go to my parents to the back of the house, and I would watch it out of their back bathroom, and it was at the distance. It was in a distance, but it would go up and it would go down, and it would change colors from the red, the blue, the green, and I mean, it changed colors and would go up. And then immediately when this all happened, immediately following, there were Army Jeeps traveling up and down our little dirt road all that summer. And located about a mile and a half from on the same road, a mile and a half from us, was a radar tower, and it was in a golf ball. We just called it the golf ball. So, and I'm almost 15 at that time, and of course I thoroughly enjoyed those military men in their uniforms going up and down, because they would wave, and we'd kind of wave at them, kind of flirt.
Oh my gosh,
But
Ann Lynn,
now
you guys are great.
But
So
Oh yeah.
so you
Well,
actually
we just
saw
wanted
these
to
guys.
say-
How fast?
You want me to go ahead and finish, Lynn?
Well, let me ask. Well, let me ask both of you. How fast did they respond to this?
well, what
Oh,
almost immediately, as far as the Army coming out there, yeah.
yes.
And now our brother, of course, he said, we talked to him the other day because we wanted to, I wanted to. Now, what do you remember about that? So we talked to him about it again. He said, really, the only thing I do remember, because he was only 5, he said, I remember, everybody going to the windows. First of all, what is that? Is that a helicopter? What is that? And then he said, I do remember seeing the Army Jeep going up and down the road. And now he said for years after that, he said he did remember seeing them, and they may have. Now, I don't really know, but here's something that we found out in later years. Now, at that time, our dad was a South Lyon patrolman. He was a policeman, and that's in the same county. We lived in Washington County. Now, South Lyon's in Oakland, but we lived out 6 miles outside of town, so it was Washington County. Over in Dexter, they were having sightings, and of course, we're little kids. We don't know that. And in later years, our dad told me, he said he already knew about the Dexter sightings because all the police were talking about it between, the
Right.
different police departments in the county were talking about it. So then I think when we had our experience, and as a family to boot, I mean, which has always puzzled me through the years, is how come us, how come our entire family and our aunt and uncles too. And so I don't think Dad talked about it with his fellow department policemen because, you didn't want to be ostracized for, oh yeah, he saw UFO too. Oh yeah, right. I mean,
Well,
but Dad and I actually talked about it quite a bit through the years. It didn't, because it
That's right.
intrigued me, but I know, Lynn, it scared you, didn't it?
well, I wanted to say, and we're talking about the Washington County Sheriff Deputy. He was quoted as calling the objects, whatever they were, the weirdest things I've ever seen. So they wasn't spoken a lot about because people were made fun of if you saw that. And yes, it scared me. I think as to look up to the adults that were there, they were going like, is that a helicopter? They were trying to explain it naturally. What is this? And our father had been a truck driver prior, and he drove a truck and out of Willow Run Airport, out of Detroit area. So he was like, no, it's not a, but they were trying to. So I'll just finish up my part, Adam. I'll make it quick. In May, I started having nightmares. I'm not sure if it's 1977, Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out. And I don't know if the memories of, because the ships were so similar to what we had seen. They were so similar, the lights and the way they revolved. And anyway, I started having nightmares after that, and I was up into my 30s, and I'm 69 now. So I'm from 15 to up in my 30s, had children. I started having reoccurring nightmares I can't tell you the time frame, but it was either from the 11 years earlier or it was after seeing close encounters. Probably started after the original sighting. And then just historically, what we're talking about, Anne's going to finish up, and this is really interesting, but we did not know this until years later. But May 10th of 1966, Walter Cronkite, he put out, Walter Cronkite investigates the question, UFO, friend, foe, or fantasy, and it was based on the 1966 sightings there in Washtenaw County, Michigan. And then this is really cool. The then Congressman Gerald Ford called for a congressional investigation, but there was none done. So I think, Anne, you want to kind of finish up our.
And by the way, that was my
here tonight.
Once I saw that, I saw Walter Cronkite presented this broadcast on the bottom of something I pulled up. I thought, man, that is so nuts to think about, because I grew up as well.
Yes,
I think
this is nuts.
He was at the very end of his broadcasting.
It gets a little bit nuttier. Here, listen to this. So it was in like 2011, 2012, some in that time frame. My husband and I, we had moved. We were up in Wisconsin, and so I started watching these TV programs, and I heard of Tom Horn. I don't know if anybody else out there knows Tom Horn. Has Skywatch TV. He's Defender Publishing. They're out of Missouri. And so anyhow, I had bought these books, and this one book he wrote. They're great big thick books. Thomas Horn and Chris Putnam, and he wrote this book about the Vatican, and also UFOs are in this book, and it's called Exo Vaticana Petro Romanus. So I'm reading this great big thick 3-inch book. And I'm about to the back of it, because it's quite something. And I get over here near the end of it, and he's talking about alien abductions and that kind of stuff. And it talks about, I'm just going to read right out of the book. It's talking about Steven Spielberg. It says, the take-in experience and UFO classification systems were archived by Spielberg. None of this was a surprise to Tom. This is talking about Tom Horn. He had known for some time of Spielberg's fascination with UFOs and abduction. In his 1977 sci-fi spectacular, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Spielberg had in fact based his script on real-life witness testimonies and government conspiracy to hide the facts from the public. These included multiple UFO sightings over southeastern Michigan in March of 1966, when Washtenaw County sheriffs and police in neighboring jurisdictions, and that was our dad, was one of those, observed and reported disc-shaped objects flying at incredible speeds and diving, climbing, making sharp turns, then hovering. At the same time, officials at Suffrage Air Force Base confirmed that they were tracking the UFOs over Lake Erie. So I read that, and I just about jumped out of my skin, and I immediately got on the phone and I called Lynn. And I was just, and I believe, I don't know, I think our dad may have still been alive then too. I probably talked to him.
So you're saying because
I called Lynn, and
the repetitive nightmares were because Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind basically was a very realistic version of what you saw when you were younger. So, or when it brought it back up, she started having nightmares. That's nuts.
Yes. It. I'm not real sure if I had the nightmares just after the sightings, and then late, as a kid. I think they began then, but then they didn't end until my 30s, which was way after I had seen that movie. So that attributed to it. Yes, it was. I was married and had children, and I don't have them any longer, and I will not have one tonight.
But for me, when I read this
Children
in
or
this
nightmares?
book. That kind of validated, that was like a validation to me that
Yes.
we really did. I mean, we knew we saw what we saw, but it has been a long time ago, and but I never forgot. We never forgot. Our dad never forgot. Our mom kind of poo-pooed it because she just kind of went along. Well, they said it was, in the newspapers, it was swamp gas, but I'm like, Mom, he saw that. There was 8 of us that witnessed this hover over our house and go over our house.
So your mom pressed the snooze button. Your mom pressed the snooze, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's kind of like what our kids have done. My kids, I have grown children. We both have grown children. My kids, I told them this story. I said, I just want to tell you, I mean, a long time ago, I said, I want to tell you what happened to me when I was a kid. And I told them, of course, they don't want, it scares one of my girls, and the others 2 just do not want to talk about it. I don't know, I have never found out. I just can't pry it out of them why they won't talk about it, but they just will not. Well, one daughter's scared. It scared her. So anyhow, this is an exclusive, Adam. We've never talked about this with anybody, in a national forum like this. So thank you very much.
I can understand why. You've been listening to some of the other calls we have. We have actually had more compelling stories come from folks that saw it 40 years ago. This is now over its 50th year anniversary. So that's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Michigan swamp gas has been the subject of a ton of books because of the results from it. I read books when I was 13 or 14. I went through this phase of reading all these alien books, and I remember reading about what you experienced, and it probably was going off of witnesses, that your dad's testimony. I read about your dad when I was a little kid. So it just, to me, it's pretty cool to hear it from people themselves that were directly under the thing, basically watching this thing happen. And then for them to call it swamp gas, I do understand, and I looked into swamp gas as far as somehow the chemicals or something about these bursts can have colors to them. But that's like calling you stupid. You see a flying object cut and dive and turn, and then for somebody to say, oh, it's just swamp gas. It's like, come on.
Yes.
Yeah, I get you.
And it actually hovered like over us, like we were outside, and it was like directly above us. So I mean, you can't. We either saw it or we didn't. But
well,
I know
you're not
I
in a
saw.
swamp. You weren't in a
Right.
swamp. So how would the swamp gas be above you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Adam.
Well, hey, Ann and Lynn, thank you so much for your story. And I knew I wanted to hear it the second I heard it was the Michigan UFO story. So thank you so much. And everyone appreciates you. And if you guys have not checked out Ann Lynn's show, they run a channel together. I just recently heard that you guys moved apart, though. Who took a job in New York? Did somebody take a job?
My husband took it. Yeah, it's Ann's husband. So my husband, he took a job. So yeah, we moved 10 hours away, but we're still doing we've started back doing live on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then we do a daily, we have a little daily, it's called God's Promises for You. And it's about a 2-minute video, and it's just a little inspiration to get your day going. And so we're carrying on. And we do want to say thank you because you did help us so much. And we owe everything to you and our Foogle family. There's so many creators that we are friends with. And we never would have met all these wonderful people if it hadn't been for you.
Oh, well, I'm just doing my part, and you guys are doing yours, and I'm very blessed to have people like you surrounding me. I'm very blessed to have every creator that has ever started a channel putting out their word as well. And I know that everyone appreciates each other, and when they don't really stick around for that long. You see the people that have been here for 3 years, they all truly appreciate everybody in the group. So I'm so thankful to have you.
Yes.
And I really do look up to anybody who is not, does something that's not normal. It's, I'm sure some of your friends aren't doing the same thing.
Can I tell you a quick little story, Adam?
Go ahead.
Just a quickie. So I had a doctor's appointment this week, and I went in and I had to have just an EKG. And so I thought I was going to have to go down the hallway, go to another room. So no, they sent this I would say a little girl. They sent a young lady in with the EKG machine, and so anyhow, she's saying, "Oh, I see in your chart you just recently moved to this area," and I'm like, "Yeah," and she goes, "So what brought you here?" And I said, "Well, my husband's job." So she's like, "So what do you do?" And I said, "Well," she goes, "Do you work?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm retired. I used to work. I'm retired now." She goes, "Well, what do you do all day?" And I said, "Well, I will tell you." And I kind of hesitated. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just a talker, ma'am. If you don't want to." I said, "No, it's okay." I said, my sister and I have a YouTube channel. So I ended up showing her, some of what we've done and things. But anyhow, I got such a big bang out of her because it was like, "What? So what do you do all day?" And I said, "Well, a YouTube channel." So yeah, it is.
It's weird telling people.
When you go in, I'm an old lady going in for an EKG, and I'm telling her about how my sister and I have a YouTube channel. So it was funny. So this has brought. We've had a lot of funny things like that happen the last 3 years that we've been doing this. And well, I think we had our anniversary. It's January's anniversary, so it was either 2 or 3 years, and neither one of us can remember. So
because we're old.
But we've been watching you I've been watching you since almost the beginning.
Well, you will always have a spot on my channel. You'll always have a spot on my channel along with everyone else that's been there since the beginning. I really do appreciate you guys, and I love your spirit, and I love your positivity, and that even through all this crap that's going on, you guys are always so positive and, so happy. That's what you have to surround yourself with right now, especially right now. We need to really stay close and be positive, and no matter what. Right now, the cycle is it's all negative, and most people are screaming at their televisions and just mad and angry. I can totally relate. I've done the same thing, but we just have to get past that. We have to look at the future and prepare and just be together and have a good time doing it. So, well, thank you, ladies, and you are always welcome on my show, no matter what. You are grandfathered in. Grandfathered in Marfoogle.
Oh, thank you.
Grandfathered Marfoogle grandmothers. There we go.
Okay, we'll take that. We're
All
the
right.
we're the Marfoogle grandmas.
You are the Foogle grandmas.
We'll be
Gmas.
We're the Foogle grandmas, and we'll be the Gmas, and we'll be anybody's Gma that needs a Gma, right, Lynn?
That's right.
That's
right. We sure are.
You don't have a Gma, we'll be your Gma.
And the last show,
well,
if you
Adam,
guys,
thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
All right, you guys do too. God bless you. Bye. If you guys want to see the last show they did a show with special guest Bones, who you might recognize from YouTube. He is one of our longest time mods, along with others like Jay Stone, WV, CJ Blaze, our whole list of really awesome people down there. Okay, let's see here. John Raxness says, save Susan some money, put on the full armor of God, # Team Humanity. Thank you, and thank you, Susan Donahue. Even if you don't show up tonight, your deed has been done of making sure to recognize # Team Humanity, and that is a really good point. Either way, we've got to get through all of this together, and we also have to not be dwelling on everything 24/7. Tomorrow, most likely go back to dwelling. We're talking about some of this stuff. Tonight, let's take a deep breath. I know that everyone is stressed right now. Everyone. So, glad to have all of you here. I'm glad to have 2,500 over on YouTube and whoever knows how many on DLive. Thank you Seriously, I appreciate it. Patriot here says, well, nothing. It just says you followed. Thank you so much. Welcome any new people here, like Patriot here. Ajax Purple Hash, thank you for joining. Buddy Lee. Let's see here. No Sheep, thank you. Weezer Wheeze says, hey, Adam, Dex, and Foogle fam. Maui Racing Realtor Johnson, thank you for gifting out Marfia badges to new people. T. Palomino, June M. Ashland says, WikiLeaks just dumped thousands of files. Whew. That is insane. I wonder what's going to happen there. Texas Panhandle is not covered by Texas Grid. I did not know that. T. Palomino, that's definitely something to hear. I'm going to have to look into that. 85S10. I'm not familiar with Texas. I know it's huge. So, in fact, it's probably the size of like 4 of my states. Cooter Disabled Vet, thank you for the Ninja Guinea. Thank you. It says, love and light to all of you, my sisters and brothers. Much love. Then Mr. Cornholio, Marfoogle News is number 1. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Geisy, Scooby-Doo Do-Right, Hexagonal Peach. We've got tons of folks in here. King of Kings, Giant Leap Jenny. One thing we can do is we can put a smile on our face. We can be happy. We can get through this. We can have faith with everything that is going on, that it's all going to work out the way it was supposed to. And who knows? It might take some elbow grease to get there. Weezer Wheeze, again, thank you so much. That really is appreciated. And Baldy-Lux Awake and Genley Awake, thank you. One of my favorite couples here, thank you. Where is Shannon and BOD? Where's BOD? And this is my screen name. I hope if you watch the replay, just know I miss you. Same with a bunch of other folks that, used to go to the meetings and stuff. Love it. Enoch 1776, Jen Lay Wake. I hope April Osborne's here again. I ended up meeting her at one of our state meetings. Radine, thank you. I actually I'm not familiar with that name. Lady Pamela, thank you for following, and make sure to welcome Lady Pamela and make her feel welcome. Tall Drink of Water, long-time listener, thank you so much. All right, let's move on. Okay, we're going to talk about Elon now. If you do want to call in, we're taking limited calls tonight, so make sure to get in quick. 224-400-MARF. And then, Dex, if you are needing to get a hold of me for any reason, I did accidentally have it muted, so I don't know if you called on me, but... And then...
No worries. It's all good, Adam.
And I'm glad you said something. For whatever reason,
I don't want to be loud.
No, it was the cord. The cord, for whatever is... For reason is, if you spin it, it just, goes out. All right, so Elon Musk is now the richest person in the world. I had to do the echo because it's a big world. Sorry. But I did have to do it because I said world. Elon Musk just became the richest person in the world with a net worth of more than $185 billion. According to CNBC calculations, Thursday's increase in Tesla's share price marked Musk past Jeff Bezos, who had been the richest person since 2017. It says, and is currently worth about $184 billion. Musk's wealth surge over the past year marks the fastest rise to the top of the rich list in history, and is a dramatic financial turnaround for the outspoken entrepreneur who just 18 months ago was in the headlines for Tesla's rapid cash burn and his personal leverage against the company's stock. Check this out. Musk started 2020 worth about $27 billion. Right now, that sounds like he was that's so little, right? $27 billion. $27 billion. $1 billion is 1,000 million. So 1 million 1,000 times is just 1 billion. Then you take that and times that by 27. You could buy the Burj Khalifa 27 times, the highest skyscraper in the world, and own it cash free. Just boom, no tax, no fees, just boom, own it outright. You could own a military submarine made into a underground submarine yacht that has 10,000 square feet, the equivalent of 10 houses underwater, with a full staff 27 times. Now it is at 190 about. That is insanity. That is so much money. And what's funny is I typed in, there's 357 million people in the United States. So I typed it. The second I barely started typing it, so many people have actually looked up the exact same thing I looked up, which is the math equation. And it's very specific, so you could totally tell other people are doing this. It's the number of people who live in the United States times $190 million divided by however many people. I was trying to find out if he just took half of his money. So I think I took 80. Yeah, I think I took 80 million. No, 90. I took 90 million. And I divided that, and it was like he could give every single person more than our stimulus, every single person, and still have half of his money left. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. It says Tesla's rocketing share price, which has increased more than 9-fold over the past year, and his generous pay package have added more than $150 billion to his net worth. Amazon's share price has remained more subdued due to the potential for increased regulation from Washington, which one thing that I don't, because think about that. Amazon, everyone is using now because of the lockdowns. They are basically forcing some people to use it. Some of the disabled folks, some of the services that bring food and different stuff and groceries, some of them in certain states can't even do what they usually do, which is bring groceries. Some of the delivery grocery systems are shut down because of this. So you're thinking about that. You are physically forcing people to use services like Amazon because not all states actually have some of the smaller companies that do that. So I just thought it's an insane amount of kind of funneling all of this money into two people. Between the two of these people, they have $500 billion. It blows my mind. Which, speaking of which, I want to point out, so Elon Musk is at the very top of the world. What I don't get, though, is there's got to be some people that we don't know about. Is Elon Musk really the richest person in the world? That is one question I want to ask you guys. Because we know about the Rothschilds and others that are not public, or at least, some of the family names, right? Some of the people that have ruled Earth for a couple hundred years because of the banking families and all of this. Is he really the richest, or is he the richest publicly? Because I just wonder, there are people that I believe are just completely off the record. Do you guys agree? Do you agree that there are families or even people that are richer than them, richer than Elon Musk and what do you say, Jeff Bezos? Say 1 if you believe there's people that are richer. Press 2 if you think Elon is truly the richest. Say it in the chat right now so I can see what the general consensus is, or comment in the comments down below. Here. Cooter Disabled Vet, thank you so much. Again, you are awesome. Weezer Wheeze, thank you. Let's see here. Hag6696, thank you. All right, let's go over to the general. And it looks like... Okay, so there's a lot of people that agree. 1. So here's my point. Somebody said Dog and Pony Show. I don't know if that's about our show or the show that is put on, because there was a lot of stuff that went on over the last weekend. One thing though, Musk actually told everyone to get on Signal, and I put out a YouTube story and I said, yeah, I actually do believe that's a really great suggestion now, because Signal is an encrypted service, but it's also something that is not really it's not affected by any of the crazy stuff going on. I think everybody should do that. It looks like everybody agrees. So if there's richer people than him, and I'm assuming that the majority, 90% of us, is right, what do those people do with their money? Like what, there's people with just incredible amounts of money. What do you think you would do when you have that much money? You can buy cities, you can buy, whatever you want. What do you think those people are into when you get to the point where money is everything? I mean, you can do anything with money, right? And when you get up to a certain tier, you get treated differently. And none of us even know how that is. Not even millionaires. Millionaire isn't even a thing now. Like, millionaires are normal people now. Before, it was like, oh, they're a millionaire. Remember Blank Check? Like $1 million would buy you this mansion and all this. Think about that movie, Blank Check, with the kid that got a blank check for $1 million. Think about that today. That was like, back then it was like 1 million was like 10 million, or 20 million with inflation. Now $1 million is not much. And yes, I'm sure it is a lot for all of us. But again, there are people with that is toilet paper to them.
Well, and those families you're talking about, they're just that. They're families. So a lot of their money is distributed. So nobody really knows. A lot of it's hidden, but then nobody really knows, like, who is any one person the richest, because individually they're probably not, but combined is where they have it. And I've seen numbers, and these are some older numbers back in like 2016, 2015, 2014 time periods where, that Roth family you're talking about is estimated to have anywhere from, 350 billion, 500 billion, over $1 trillion. And in some cases, people think it's even 7 trillion. So, but that's combined across their entire family. But, that's pretty significant. But
do you guys see what I mean?
Alone, having 185, that's pretty significant too.
What is that? Giant of Penny says, I identify as a billionaire. That would be funny. Go into that's funny. Go into a fancy restaurant and say, well, no, we don't take your kind here. Well, I identify as a billionaire, and sue them if they say you're broke. Anyways, so one of the main points is this man is publicly the richest man in the world, right? He not only has contracts with the current admin, right? Commander, and you get who I'm talking about, who now is Voldemort, essentially. This man is saying things like the most entertaining outcome is probably the real one, and saying to download Signal, backed up by then Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden actually said it too and said, yes, get on it. They, of course, have been saying for years, they've been advocates of it, but now they are telling it. So much so, it's not like average, right? It's not like average times they've said it, and, a couple people go over. Today, Signal crashed because hundreds of thousands of people were going over. Even Signal actually posted. Also, there was a kind of a just trying to cell phone service is something, along with the power grid and everything else, that natural disasters very well could take out at any point, So I think that's why a lot of people... So if you did have the internet still, because it is kind of a beast that gets the right information out and repeats itself until the right information settles in the head and thinks that way, to keep the internet going, but to cut all other communications is a possibility people have thought about over the years and talked about over the days today. And so it would be it's just very smart to always prepare for natural disasters. Natural disasters that happen all the time, or rarely, soon. So it's definitely a great thing to have apps like that back you up. I would definitely check it out. All right, let's see here. All right, we do have a couple of videos here tonight. These are viewer-submitted videos. We did have some slight issues with some of the providers out there. There's lots of things going wonky right now. Just lots and lots of things going wonky. So definitely pretty crazy. This is a video submitted by Amy Leiden. I think that I said that right. If I said that wrong, I apologize. Let's check out this video. First off, I will full screen this. All right, looks like it is not. Now, this is Brighton, Colorado. Amy Leiden at 10:37 a.m. on the 20th of the 19th of 2019. January 20th. Let's see here. Glitch in the Matrix. So I'm trying to look for it. Dex, can you read the description of this? I'm assuming there's a description, but I missed it. Now it's full screen.
Yeah, it says, I know I witnessed a glitch.
Hold on one second. Let me turn off. Usually it's copyrighted stuff. Okay, Dex, can you say that again?
Yeah, it says, I know I witnessed a glitch in the Matrix during a flight from the East Coast to the West Coast and back. Please share that so more people can share in their experience of glitches in the Matrix. I would love some feedback. That was my only experience. I'm so glad I recorded it. By the way, thanks to you, I'm enjoying a sense of security using my electronics with my membership with NordVPN. So I think what I'm getting out of this is maybe the other plane didn't look right or something. Unless you see something different. That's what I saw. Is maybe it just didn't look natural.
Wait a second. Oh my gosh. It looks like it stopped still. What the heck? Okay, that is a trip. But wait a second. I hope that splice thing isn't like a... Hold on. Okay, so you see how it's above this square of land? So it's moving forward, but it looks like the plane's just frozen in air. It really does look weird. The longer you look at it, and if you guys want to go ahead and honestly check it out, it says splice at the end. I think Amy here is saying that, but I could be wrong. I have seen some really weird videos. I don't know what splice is, if that's an editing program or like a Photoshop type thing, but I cannot tell by looking at it that it's altered in any way. If you guys are experts, I'm sure we're going to get 50 experts to say, I'm an expert in plain photoshopping, and I've seen 14 years of plain photoshopping, and this is definitely plain photoshopping at its plain photoshopping best. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to call this one a plain photoshopping fail. Then again, there'll be somebody who says, well, I'm a pilot, and I've piloted for Pilot 4 years, and that's definitely a real plane. That's a plane. For sure, with 2 wings and 2 engines. Both are flying. I don't know. I really don't know. That's what this is. Rebecca Pina. Yes, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but again, you gotta be we just gotta roll with the flow for a minute. It will get better. I promise you guys, it will get so much better. We'll get so much better. Stay positive. Stay positive, my friends. Okay. All right. Now let's go to that was Amy Leiden. If you guys want to go to her channel, you can just go right to our website here, and in the corner you can just click subscribe. We've made it extremely easy for you to love mob. That's again Amy Leiden. And you can go right there and go whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
And that was an editor, right? Splice, I think, but she did put content on there, so you see why she did it. She actually wrote something on the video. So
yeah. No, it looks like she just put.
I'm not judging it one way or the other. I haven't done that type of analysis. She wanted to show it. I thought it was interesting.
No. I'll give you my opinion. I believe it looks real, and what I'm seeing, because I also saw some like little blips. I thought I saw like an image blip in there, so that could be it. I think everybody would have to look at this zoomed in to be able to tell for themselves. But again, I'm just saying, it almost looks like the plane is stopped to the point where it does almost look fake. So that would be a glitch in the Matrix, right?
Well, it could be. The other explanation is it can be two planes coming in on approach at the same or at different altitudes and different positions, but at the same speed, right? And therefore, it would never really. It would look like it's floating. While you're flying through the air, it looks like it's floating there, right?
Okay, somebody says that the cloud is weird. I just want to play this.
And maybe it's something else in there that I missed, but that's all we got. And I did think the plane looked interesting.
And that's just a reminder, please, if you send in a video, make sure to do a proper description of what you see, where you see it. But
if she saw like a giant portal open up on the ground below, I missed it. Sorry.
The cloud definitely looks dark. Wait a sec. Wait a sec. Sorry, I was just looking at the very end how it showed the wing. It's one of those flip-top wings or whatever. That would be weird if it was like the same plane or like some sort of Black Mirror's episode where she saw herself looking out the window with a cell phone. Too long? Probably. Lightning Cloud. This is sent in by Bexy Boo. Boom. Oh, crazy looking. Let's get that.
Good God, I've never seen that before.
What a trip. That looks like a nuke.
Ooh.
Whoa. That is weird.
I've never seen that before.
That looks like there's some sort of ship right there. This looks like it could be like a Terminator entrance. You have to turn it sideways at the beginning.
Quite fine. Bloody hell. Watch it. Sash. Yes. Gotcha.
I really wish phones would automatically rotate.
It's a big spaceship, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Seriously though, the guy it looks like a spaceship. It does.
Wait, didn't it? Just a cloud.
I love this guy down here.
Spaceship, really, isn't it?
Hey!
Seriously, that is a really good catch. Like, that's a weird, that is awesome. I mean, even if it's not anything weird, that's just amazing. If I was there and I had my good camera, I would have been just overjoyous. I would have been flipping out if I could have got that on camera. Again, that we could almost take that, flip it. So it's just flip the whole time. That is a great video. Thank you so much, Bexy Boo. Amazing video, man. Where are you guys from? The UK, I'm assuming. I don't think we had a location on that. It says video of what I think is an anvil lightning cloud. We all thought it was strange because it had no thunder with it. When filming halfway through, I flipped my phone into landscape, so you have to turn your head to see it. She knew because of previous people that were, all doing that. Before we get to the next video, let me pop over and see if see what we have over here. We have Thomas, a first-time caller, and we have a story about loss of time and paralyzation. Oh, crazy. Saw a downward trail meteor. Dex, let's get Thomas in. Again, another first-time caller. If you want to call in, it's 224400-MARF. That is 224400-MARF. Make sure to press option 4 when you get to our phone tree. Thomas, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You are live on Marfoogle News. I'm great. All right, so you lost some time, or what happened?
Yeah, so I want to say what's up to Dex and everyone at Foogle fam. What's up, everyone? Yeah, so I'm calling you from Lake Mead, Nevada, but this actually happened when I was 17 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Coming home late one night, and it was about 11 o'clock, so for like 17-year-old, that's late. And I went to bed, and I remember looking at the clock and just staring at the clock, the blue clock, and all of a sudden this presence overtook me. Like my body started humming and buzzing. It was like a really weird feeling, and I couldn't move, and I was paralyzed. For a period of time. It felt like 5 minutes, and I remembered a car drove down the street, and that's what the sound actually brought me out of it. And when I came to, it was 3 a.m. So yeah, pretty weird. And this happened when I was 17 years old. So I lost a couple hours of my life, and so I don't know if it was some sort of form of abduction, if I can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was pretty scary stuff for me. And I even looked into it, like sleep apnea, and it wasn't like that, because I've actually experienced that. That happens like for a second, but this was a loss of time. And so I wanted to tell my story publicly, because I want to know if there's anyone else out there that has experienced that as well. So
I guarantee you there is.
Kind of
I bet you we're going to get people that...
Short story, but...
well, that's all right.
Go ahead.
No, we're going to get people that are inspired by you coming out and saying something. A lot of people are embarrassed to talk about it, or they're afraid to say something, or it is such a negative experience for them that they don't want to ever talk about it, or they black it out until years later, and it comes out in therapy or something else. This is a real thing that people don't realize happens to a lot of people. What was the movie? It was like The Fifth Kind or The Fourth Kind, or... It shows the therapists working and doing hypnotism and then pulling out these weird stories. It's actually way more prevalent than people would think. There's a lot of therapists that know about this. It's a common occurring theme. And how is there so many people that have had these experiences, but yet, we don't talk about it? It's a cultural taboo. It's weird. I think it's weird.
Right. And I think that just being paralyzed and being trapped in my body without being able to move it, not even my eyes or anything, it was one of the most, it was very, very scary for me personally. And like, I've only told close people around me, like my wife, and, I make sure, otherwise people like to write you off as someone, crazy. So I figured, well, I need to tell this, and I really want to know if there's anyone else out there that has experienced this. Maybe you have. I don't know. You have said that you've experienced things, but yeah.
A lot of my stuff is with with angels, with UFOs, we've had something come over us and put a light down on us. My wife was not a believer. In fact, she was one of the biggest skeptics before that day. So yeah, I totally get you. Now you saw something come down in the sky. What was that about? You saw a meteor?
So today, I don't really know what time it is. I'm actually camping out here in Lake Mead in Nevada here. I'm outside right now looking at the stars, and around 10 o'clock, I saw one of those downward falling rocks from the sky that looked like it had two plane fart streams coming out of it. And I want to say that was 10 o'clock today. I don't know if anyone else saw that, but it was exactly what I saw. I actually saw the one that was over I-10 too, because I happened to be in Seligman, Arizona then, and I saw that one too, and I thought that was kind of odd. And then I saw it again today. So I don't know if it's I have no idea what that was.
And you're in Nevada today, right?
That up again.
Are you in Nevada today? And you were in Arizona?
Yes. Right now I'm in Nevada, but I was in Seligman, Arizona when you first aired. I was watching the show and you first aired that double stream plane fart thing coming out of the sky.
I know. Well, we've had several now. Isn't that weird that people are seeing those all over?
Yeah, it's really I've never seen them go down like that, but they're very active around here, at least the single plane fart ones. And yeah, so, and then at 8 a.m. and then again at 10 a.m. I heard two booms go off. So I don't know. And this was today. I didn't check the news. I wasn't smart enough to look up the news to see if there was anything going on, but I just thought it was crazy. My wife heard it too. So yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much for sharing your story tonight, and I appreciate you, Thomas. It's your first time call. Don't make it your last, and don't be a stranger.
Right. I won't be a stranger, but thank you very much. And thanks, Dex, for getting me on. And everyone, be safe.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a good night. Be safe. Be prepared.
You too. Bye.
All right. Somebody said that Marv stays away from politics so he can keep broadcasting. Yes and yes, but also tonight's Friday. So we have done this for the last month and a half. We do other things normally, but again, Unidentified Fridays is here to stay. A lot of people have said that they liked it, so that's what we're going to do. If we miss a Friday, we usually do an Unidentified Tuesday, or we push it back, or whatever it is. On top of that, though, just so you know, you can actually watch by the minute on every platform. In fact, at the start of the show, if you noticed, this was at 20.7. It's at 20.3. Just about 4 or 5 hours ago, this was at 22,000. That's 1,700 people disappeared. This isn't, unfollows because I said something negative. Just want you to know, there's one of those, what do you call it?
Outro, B-L-A-C-K. Better know, B-L-A-C-K. Outro, B-L-A-C-K. Better know, B-L-A-C-K. Outro, B-L-A-C-K. Better know, B-L-A-C-K. Outro.
I think you get the point. So, talk soft or don't talk at all is the policy that has kept us broadcasting for 3 years now and getting information out there and creating places for people to be positive and for people to meet like-minded folks. Thank you very much. Thanks a bunch. It's my show. Thanks. If you guys want to support us in a different way and protect yourself, again, NordVPN is not only one of the best, but it is also rated one of the best. This is a virtual private network that can protect your home computer, your home phone, up to 6 devices simultaneously with one account that you can save up to 70% on a 3-year plan with. Just use the code Marfoogle when you go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. It basically makes it so they can't data log all of your information. It also hides your IP or your virtual address, and it puts it somewhere else. It also is incredibly useful if you use public Wi-Fis. If you're somebody who uses a tablet or something like this, you're probably ordering things off of Amazon with your credit card and your name and all your information. Even if you try not to, some of that information's there. You definitely want to keep that safe. So go to, again, marfooglenews.com/VPN. 30 days, money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you can just, no questions asked, return it. Again, that's super easy. Just turn on and off. There's even a mode where you just click a boom, like a light switch. You don't have to be a techie. All right. Let's see here. Let's go to this other video here. UFO above my bedroom at 4 a.m. This was sent in by Ari55, which has an amazing camera. It says, first part of video, woke up from a strange dream and took a pic above my bedroom at 4 a.m. June 9th, 2016. Second part, 8:30 p.m. security cam, picked up a weird sound and object. All right, let's watch.
One morning I was woken up at about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, weird.
And I felt like something was messing with my head. So I grabbed my iPhone.
I am your father.
Went out the back door. Looked straight up above my house where I sleep, there underneath my, above my bedroom. And I thought I saw something moving away in the dark, way up there. So I focused my camera on my iPhone out into infinity and locked the screen and took a picture, 2 pictures. One picture came out with a object in it. I mean, I had to enlarge it quite a bit, but you could see there was something there. And it was the connection that I had when I first woke up. It felt like something had been broken, a connection in whatever I was dreaming or thinking about, caused me to instantly just get up and want to go outside and take pictures at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now the second one here is a clip off of my security camera, and it's just it made a weird hissing sound, almost like breathing, but then this object goes off real fast, and I've got it in slow motion, but it's still not very clear what it is. It could be an insect, I guess, but whatever it is, it made a sound I never heard on my camera. And here it is.
Weird.
No idea. Thank you, Marf, Dex, for putting these videos out. Appreciate it.
No problem,
A lot of
Marf.
traffic off of your site of the marfooglenews.com site. I've noticed on some of my videos. So thank you.
Well, Ari, if you're watching, no problem. You are, again, another person that I truly enjoy your videos, and some of your zoomed videos of the meteors and things like that are absolutely amazing. You'll always have a spot on my channel. Like every other creator we help, I wouldn't have it any other way.
One morning I was woken up at
This is weird, though. The way your voice sounds in the beginning, that could give somebody nightmares.
Something was messing with my head.
It reminded me of a character off of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Back door. Look straight up above my house where I sleep.
Anyways, if you guys want to see this video or others, if you want to see what he's talking about, go to our website, marfooglenews.com, and you'll see it is actually the fourth one down. Normally, RE55 also has a very specialized camera. It's a camera that zooms in, I think, 1,000 times. It's a Nikon P1000, something like that. There's a few people in the Foogle fam that have these cameras, and they're absolutely amazing because they can zoom in and catch these things that nobody else would be able to catch with a cell phone, with a regular DSLR, unless that regular DSLR had, $13,000, 600 millimeter lens, and even then I don't even think it can go that far. So thank you guys for sending in those videos. A little light this week because I think everybody didn't have their eyes to the sky this week. A lot of people had their eyes to the guys, I guess. Well, that didn't sound as well out loud. Order of Higher Magi says, "Hey Marf, there has been armed security around substations in my area. Never seen them so often. Heads up." Substations, power substations. Thank you, Order of Higher Magi. I've told all of my friends and family to please, please, please have extra food and water, shelf life food, have a plan to get to safe areas, just in case of a natural disaster. I live on the Pacific Northwest, the West Coast, so we've got the Cascadia subduction zone earthquake. This Cascadia subduction zone earthquake that could happen could cause all sorts of things. So, in light of that and other disasters that could very well happen, I hope that everybody, just has the responsibility. It's insurance. It's basically like any other insurance. It's food insurance. So you should have that. Bushman Canuck says, camera view, jet traveling to the right, filmed, jet faced opposite direction, yet traveling with camera, jet. Okay, so I what Bushman is saying is he's spotting what was the glitch in that video. Camera view, jet traveling to the right. Filmed jet faced opposite direction, yet traveling with camera. Sort of confused on that. So if it's... I'll have to look at it again. And if you want to look at it again as well, I would highly recommend it. Thanks from Canada, Bushman Canuck. Always a pleasure to have you here. Cutie Pie Angelica, did WikiLeaks dump files or add new files? That's a good question. I'm sure while we were live, crazy things have gone down. Vibron from Australia, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. No comment there. Cameron Combs says, "Hey Marf, I've been waiting to get ham radio in case we lose communication. What is a good ham radio you've used or know what's good quality? Thanks." So I would honestly wait until we have our section up. We're going to have a whole bunch of ham radio operators on there that will be able to tell you the best. I'm not an expert. In fact, we got our first one and still have not even got it working yet. We highly recommend that you get your ham radio license. There's websites that you can go to. In fact, there are Foogle Fam members that will actually help you not only figure out where to get it, how to get it, but there's also people in our group that can help you figure out how to make a homemade antenna if you cannot afford to buy an expensive one. There's actually been a couple folks that have been helping others with that just recently. Again, ham radio has its pros and has its cons. They're actually quite expensive to get into. All right, Dex, if you can, let's see here. Let's go to the website. Looks like something just happened. Dex, can you go over what we actually, in fact, I think we're going to be switching here in a second, but one sec.
And Adam, I was checking that video. I'm trying to understand the comment earlier about facing the wrong direction. It seems that the plane the person is in is heading in the same direction as the other plane, at least from my perspective when I watched it. But everybody can go check that out. That's definitely on marfooglenews.com, along with all of the articles we covered earlier. The viewer submitted content will be there. And then the last thing, a lot of this content, all this content is coming from you guys. So if you've seen something in the sky, if you've captured it, if you've got a video of lights or an unidentified object or something like that, or who knows, little green men running out of a... make sure you send it to us. The easiest way to do that is to put it on YouTube. You can upload it in an unlisted format if you're not interested in having a channel. By being able to comment on YouTube, you have a channel. So just upload that video, take the link to that video, and go to our website, marfooglenews.com. Click on play my video. It's a link at the top, and on your mobile phone, it's in the little hamburger menu at the top. It's real simple. Fill out that form. Make sure you copy and paste the link to your video. I get a few people that don't even put a link in and just tell me about their video. And then make sure you tell us what's so important about it. Like what in that video we want to make sure we're seeing. So if there's a glitch in the matrix, tell us what that glitch is so we can actually try to point it out when we do show it. But again, that's marfooglenews.com. Look for the link at the top that says play my video. Submit your videos there. And if it's, really compelling and great, we'll show it on the show. We'll bring it up here just like we're doing tonight. So.
And I actually, for whatever reason, my camera switched from power to battery. So that was weird. Anyways, thank you, Dex. And I guess let's go over to let's see here. Let's go over to the phones. We have homesteading in the heartland. Saw lights in the sky and moves around. Homesteading is actually a channel that I've actually met strangers that are like, oh, my favorite channel is Homesteading in the Heartland. Great channel that talks about all sorts of things, including canning. So let's get Homesteading in the Heartland on right now. And while that happens...
Hello?
Hello, how are you doing? Homesteading in the Heartland. Hey, Texas 2018. Hi. Thank you.
How are you doing? Happy New Year.
Good. I've heard your channel. I told you though. I met my neighbor actually too. Said I said, "What are your favorite channels?" Because they told me that they were up late watching YouTube since the lockdown, and she said Alaska Prepper and Homesteading in the Heartland. So you guys are the two favorite channels. I thought that was really cool.
So is it Tara that I do a shout out to? I don't.
No, Anna.
You want
Anna.
to do a shout out for them, huh?
Anna. Anna okay. Or Anna. Anna. I'm pretty sure it's Anna.
Anna. Okay, we'll do. I'll do that next time.
Anna Bell. Anna Bell.
I haven't posted. Okay, Anna Bell.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And then.
Okay. No, yeah, I'll do that when I post next. I had an emergency appendectomy right before Christmas, so I need to get back to it. So I'm just now starting to, get back to normal. So that's everything. But anywho's, So the Saturday before Christmas, I was looking at my calendar after I talked to Dex. So probably the 18th is when this happened. And first and foremost, the first call, this would be my fourth call maybe into, third or fourth call. My first call was the radio signal show. I was the last caller, Shaw ND, and since then changed my name for my homesteading channel. So I, of course, have, 3 decades of experiences I can talk about, and you can ask me all kinds of questions, but I'm just going to talk about Saturday. And then I did text a picture to to Dex, excuse me. I texted him a picture of what my son drew. Anyways, because we don't have Wi-Fi, so I can't just shoot him an email because I can't without Wi-Fi since I'm on my phone. Anyways.
No problem. I'm
around.
Pulling it up. Wait a second. Okay, so Dex, if you can, I don't think I have that yet, and then Dex is in on the call. By the way, this is...
Yeah, I didn't get it yet. I see where you texted it, but there's no image.
This is Homesteading in the Heartland. If you guys have not been over to their channel, they put a lot of effort into this, so please go love mob Homesteading in the Heartland right now. Especially, it seems like I thought you were actually you already hit 1,000, but let's get you there.
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
That would be awesome. And then if we don't have Wi-Fi, I would be able to go live from my device and answer questions live on anything from the biochemistry in the body and everything that I did on my DNT video to, anyways, canning and gardening and everything. But so Saturday, the 18th of December, about 10 after 8, I went outside by myself and saw it first. I, just went for a walk and was like, we live on a farm, so no extra, light pollution out here. And it was like right below Orion's belt. I'm going to say southeast, right below Orion's belt. And it looked, I couldn't get a picture with my phone. We don't have any professional camera equipment. We only use our phone. So to describe it, it was like an orb light, but it flashed and moved and it flickered, into multiple different colors. You know what I'm saying? And so I came in and got my daughter, and she was just finishing her shower. I'm like, come here, you got to see this. Come here, you got to see this. And her and I watched it for a good half hour, and it would move up, down, left, right, but it wouldn't go really far. It would stay in one little vicinity. And it was just sitting there, and it's like, well, it's not a star, because we know what stars look like. That's clearly not a star. And we're just sitting there, and so I came and got my husband and showed him. He's like, yeah, that's not a star. And he's like, sure, and walked in, because he's just, we tell him about so much, Or my son's like, oh, Dad, I see a UFO, and he, driving. He's like, because it's just commonplace for us to see lots of things, Anyway, so
now
that's it
also... Go ahead.
I've seen video on MRMBB33 of this particular, what it looked like anyways, it flashed multiple different colors. It was like looking at a kaleidoscope. You know how you rotate a kaleidoscope, but it was a sphere, and you rotate a kaleidoscope and it changes all those different colors and kind of moves around a little bit and, flickers or glitters or whatever. That's what it looked like. But so I don't, yeah.
So there's
I don't know if you're able to pick up and, pull anything up, but came out with her phone and tried to take pictures, but she couldn't get a clear shot. And my daughter's not here tonight. She's at my ex-husband. She's at her dad's right now, so I don't have her phone to.
Well, that's okay. We have more time to do it. So what I'm going to do is, in fact, I believe you are the last caller. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you stay online, have you stay on the phone for a minute here.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like you have some other stories that are probably not for the big guys here.
YouTube.
So I'm gonna have you hang out for a kind of a 5-minute little I guess, what do you call it, intermission, and we're gonna be basically turning off of YouTube and then going over to D Live to finish up. But first, I do have some people to thank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you aside. We're going to load you aside. I'm going to put you off, and then we're going to get back to you, and then we'll talk about your other stories as well. So if you want to hear the rest of her call, you guys got to come over to D Live there. And again, if you want to get there, you can go to our website, marfooglenews.com, and you can click up here at the top, View D Live. There's a reason for that. Everything is done for a reason. So remember, come over there. You can go right to the home, marfooglenews.com, MARFOOGLE news.com. And when you click, you go to the home button. And then once it comes up with this at the very top, very easy. In fact, a big shout out to Kim. I don't know if I'm going to shout you out on the beginning of another show. I met Kim, Keeping It Magical Kim, amazing woman. She's a florist and just somebody incredibly special. She ended up making my wife a beautiful bouquet to mood. I mean, she's an artist with flowers. But anyways, she told me that she had a problem getting on D-Live. So remember, you can go here, but there's also join the Foogle fam on D-Live and then a watch this how-to video. Dex made a video telling people how exactly to get there, how to do it, how to sign up, everything. The cool part about it is it is a really great place for different content. It's just a different place in general. So, eyes to the guys. Yep, I know what you mean, says Rapture Soon 2020. Thank you. And you guys have a good night for the YouTube folks over there. Again, Dex, if we can, I think you did get them. I don't think I missed anybody, but if I did, we'll get you the next show. If you did do a super chat during the YouTube show, those will be down on the ticker down below on the next. And we'll try to shout out some of you others. So thank you so much. If you're on YouTube, thank you. You are my home base, and I really do appreciate all of you. We're going to be talking about some other content. Again, a little bit different kinds of things there. So be there or be square, and then we will be right back. Well, for some of you.
Better know, B-L-A-C-K. Outro, Better know, B-L-A-C-K. Outro, B-L-A-C-K. Better know, B-L-A-C-K. B-L-A-C-K. Better know, B-L-A-C-K. Outro, B-L-A-C-K. Better know, B-L-A-C-K. Outro, B-L-A-C-K. Better know, B-L-A-C-K. You got the black eye, you got the whack eye. You better get your preps and your food ready now. Everybody wanna go look out the window, wanna do it just like you. B-L-A-C-K. Respiratory Jamie, Phil, Billy X, Joe Adams, and the rest of me. I'm gonna do it just like they say, you know. PT10 and the street, Martin Thomas, and the rest. You eat that bonesy, leader all hard in the Italian margin. Randy Simmons, I'm gonna bring it back. Doing everything, everybody. high. Oh, everybody really wanna fly. Oh, we do camera and combs in the vibe. Vibe cutie pie. Angelica, John Raxness, and Joseph Johnson, Ken Haynes, and Cumbersome. Android 3K in the Under the Hood. Thanks for subscribe. Big shout out to Susan Donahue. Thank you so much for all of your massive support. Got the Burley's 9, Meteor, the End Times, and the City Star. Or the other higher man, bring you right back, and you couldn't say me. Bushman Canard and Joseph Johnson, Joe Jackson, and everybody on one. Oh, you gotta watch out for the man. You gotta watch out for the EMP. Better watch out for it today and tomorrow and every day of the week. Everybody on the Twitter is vanishing, disappearing right in front of us in Edison. Anakin like a Star Wars, turning into Darth Vaders. Have food and water. Have a plan, Paul Halley. Just said to prepare for a Bahamas launch. Listen carefully and pay attention. They can't detect this. Please go out and prepare. It is very serious, and yes, it is here. It is here. It is clear. Everything is going on. Everything is going back on strong. Going down. By brown chemicals and the rest of my homes. Regular 2 edgy when a little really. And I'm 70 seconds really with the lure match G in and out. They let me wiggle to in your respiratory. KG on the stashing and the cooler, and then everybody got it, and they had it in that Alaska bush pilot in the brink. Welcome, Alaska bush pilot. Deb J, welcome to the family over on D-Live. Queen BTP, thank you for all you do, sending love. That Chowky gal, really, it's just Mia. Moody Mama. Weaver. Lots of new followers. All right, should be